Today we're preparing my Artisan Carriage for a deep soak in the Marble Mystery Oil. The Mystery Oil soak is shown completely on another video on the maintenance series. Today you'll just see me personally taking the carriage apart. We thought this might be a good way for you to experience the matter because Jack is so expert and goes so fast that my skills might be more what your skills are. And you can take a look this way.
This is the answer lady with the dirty Artisan. This one is mine, and it's very, very dirty, and it's misbehaving, but nothing is broken. I do not want anybody blaming the Artisan company for this. It's all on me. I've had this one since it was new. It was the second boatload. I've used it really hard, and I have to confess I haven't always been as good at maintenance as I am now, and it's showing. So we're going to do an experiment today. Jack is going to talk me through getting this apart for the deep soak. I got this off knowing that it works like studio machines, going all the way past 10 and pulling it off.
Yes, this is the one you must be careful of because that little post right there must go inside that slot.
There's a slot.
And it'll break if you try to force it.
I'm real familiar with these.
Right.
This one's not as delicate as the plastic ones. Okay, so my next trick is what?
Take your sinker plate off.
And I want to soak it too. It's all so dirty, but I don't want to soak my brushes.
Or your knob covers.
Right. I'll bet you I know how to get the knob covers off, but it's not easy.
Not as you would have imagined. If you put them down...
You're supposed to be not touching it. I'm supposed to do it.
Use your flat tip screwdriver, and you can very carefully pry them.
There it goes. Look at that.
Once it starts, it's usually pretty easy, and you can pop it off. Put them in
my container, right?
Your bucket.
This is a repurposed margarine container, but it works great. There we go. So those I'll wash like I wash dishes by hand.
Yes. Well, the LPS is
Do I
really
use
good.
my cross-point screwdriver?
Yes,
here?
that is the one.
Can you still see me on the screen?
Yes.
Your screen monitor.
Quite well.
Okay.
Now, be careful of washers.
There, it's trying to get away.
My thing is I always put the... Now, what you need to do is push it back down. Then that'll come out.
Stop. I'm supposed to do this. I'm not just being bossy, although it comes very easily to me. Jack has an injury. He's supposed to be
Now, look right here. Here's a problem that we are going to do away with.
Ooh, my.
But there's your felting underneath the...
One reason they were so stiff to operate.
Right. And it gets that way.
Can you see this?
Yes. So that would be a reason to take them off periodically, especially after a big job, just to get that felting.
Well, I have to tell people a little bit about the history of this machine. I used it for personal pleasure for years. I designed on it for years, and most recently, I did a bunch of production knitting on it using alpaca.
Suggestion, put the washer back on the screw before you put it in the bucket. Because you're going to have a lot of screws in there, and you won't know which ones go where.
Good point. Right now, there are only two.
Right.
So matching them back up.
Then set them in carefully, and they'll pretty much stay together like that.
Okay. Good point.
And then you know, those are the ones that go in my brushes washer. There you go.
The brushes need to be cleaned, but we'll do that with combing and picking. Weirdly, this one's dirtier than that one. I see more fiber in this one.
That's your lead brush.
They're both lead brushes. Depends which side you start on, silly. Okay, so this, I need these off.
Yes,
this was no, that was me. That was an experiment that didn't work. I thought that I might like to try this on. I'm missing two as well that are just worn out. I've got to order some, and it's no problem getting Artisan parts. Michael Becker imports them still at D-Knits, and he carries the correct brushes, so I will just order what I need here. That I'll save to use on the machine it was really made for. I'm still in the picture.
You're still in the picture.
looks to me like this brush needs replacing, although some of it's in okay condition. I'll show you people why in a second.
It's toothless.
It's got a gap. One set of bristles totally jumped out. But these are the things that happen from long wear.
And again, there's your little bit of felting underneath there.
Well, this explains, besides the just generally dirty look, why it hasn't been performing well. You get a few of these issues making it sluggish, and then it can't do what it's supposed to do. Okay, this is ready to go in the Marvel Mystery Oil bath.
Right.
That we've waxed eloquent about on other
Take
videos.
your knobs off for your...
These knobs.
Right. And put them in the bucket.
And, by the way, these knobs, if one ever drops, the carriage can bend. These are fine.
Right.
But remember, we bent one on my 260, and fortunately,
and there's
they're
a difference
replaceable.
there. Most of what they're used to, if they're brothers, is the threaded post is in here, and the knob goes down on it. Those are the exact opposite.
Be right back. I'm getting a paper towel.
Is it getting messy?
Well, I see the potential to go even beyond my tolerance for getting mess on myself, which is substantial, but there we go. Maybe I won't get too dirty.
I use shop towels.
I know it. So what next?
Take
This
the handle off, yes. In the relaxed position.
In the relaxed position. And this is, it's a flat tip on this, a small one.
That's why that one's there.
Can people see it going in? They don't have to see the handle. They know how to work a screwdriver.
They can see you attempting.
Ha ha ha, very funny. I don't actually feel as though this fits. It should. There it goes. Well, yes, it's spinning. I thought it was too easy, so I must not be getting it, but of all things, I would have thought that would be stiff, but it's not. Same thing on the other side.
Yes, now the cautionary thing is, once you've removed one screw, do not move your handle. You'll break it because it'll twist in its
and
guide.
something, the one I just pulled out, the screw was recessed. This one's flush with the handle, so probably it worked its way out a little bit in all the years of use. I'm sure they were a match to begin with.
Yeah, they're normally recessed. Here, give yourself a little better angle.
Yeah. The reason for doing this video for you is that I'm probably more close to the skill level most of you are with mechanical things. We're not inept. We have some ability to use tools, but we're not Jack, a professional mechanic for a career either.
Well, you need to let them see.
Oh, sure.
How the filth gets into the ends of that handle.
In there, I'm really seeing a nice deposit.
Right.
And again, this is all plastic. I'll wash it like I wash dishes in the sink.
You can, or you can use the LPS1 and pressure spray them.
I think that dishwashing liquid is cheaper and does the job, and I can use a toothbrush.
Yep, that's your job.
Yep.
Put it in your tray over there so we can mark it and put it in our rack.
This tray?
No, that tray to your right.
Okay.
Now, flip it over, and we'll get the screws out of the carriage cover.
Is it that?
Yep, that one and one on the other side.
And that.
And the way you tell is loosen them just a little bit. You might want your full-size screwdriver.
This one doesn't actually fit in
that it's a full size.
There it goes. That's stiff. I really had to bear down there, folks. Just a little loose.
Just a little loose. And that's something to be careful of if you're going to bear down that hard. Notice how I'm balancing the carriage so it doesn't
There's no way I could
press unevenly.
So now we want to see, is it loosening? Is that the goal?
Yeah.
Feels like it is. I think I need to back them off a little more before we'll know. Now I don't have to bear down hard, but in order to get them started, I really did.
You do, and the problem is, let me show them before you finish.
Okay.
Bearing down on this end, see what you're doing? You're
break the foot.
You're rocking against the cover of your bed and your handles, and you see you could crack something.
Oh, you know what? See if the camera will read in there. You can actually see the screw backing out, and it is what's holding it into the... There's a receiver on the cover.
There it is, right there. And hand me the little black screwdriver. No, the flat tip. This is what she's talking about. This is the boss on the cover right there that accepts. And you see now I'm going between the boss and the carriage itself where the screw has backed out.
Okay, I was not planning on removing the front and rear foot on this carriage, which is this and this.
Don't.
But you have said to me that if... I did that thing. I tossed my screw. It came off on the tip of my driver. You found it?
I did, and there's a lock washer that I didn't find that we'll have to locate.
Yes, we will.
Yes, they're greasy, so it does stick to the screwdriver.
And then I slung it by accident.
Right. You have to be careful.
So here is what I'm looking for, that washer.
Right. All of these screwdrivers that I've used over and over and over become slightly magnetic because of the static buildup in the carriage.
Voila. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Now you see. Here, lay it down flat so folks can get a good view.
I don't think I want anyone to get a good view.
Yeah.
Just to save the mystery oil, I'm going to do a little wiping off.
Don't worry about it. The mystery oil will do it. Let's do it this way. You get a much better view
Okay,
there.
you're just determined to humiliate me.
No, that's just what happens.
It
now,
is.
Here's the spring factor. This spring, if it's messed with very much, it's held down.
By the head of the screw,
No.
right? No?
No, it's held down by the cover. When you go to moving it, it can pop right
And
out of it.
actually, we're going to need to move it to know that the oil will have to soak for a
Very
while.
carefully, though, because it'll slip out of there.
But we will need to soak for a while and then change positions on
Yes.
these levers. And you can see, even with the cover off, how stiff these things are, which explains why the performance has been iffy.
Now, look at this one. Look at the distance here and the distance there. That one's bent.
It is.
Those are the kinds of things that
I don't ever remember dropping it, but I suppose a jam might have done
it. Could have. Those are the kind of things that I spot and correct.
When you're doing it.
Yeah, and I just never say anything.
Well, you will have to show me because this one I'm doing. This one, however, is ready to soak probably for a month.
I would say a minimum of 2 weeks. We could pull it up and look at it. Yeah,
I know this looks like rust, but
it's corrosion.
It's not corrosion. It's just grime. I'm embarrassing myself again, but
right now you need to get this off.
Okay.
And again, use.
Let me have a flat.
Yeah, your flat tip go under this side. There you go.
I need a little more working.
And then just twist it.
There it comes.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
Okay, you guys are as good as I am. We're strong. We're smart. We're not pros, but we can do this. Jack has told me that if I leave these feet on, they might stain faintly pink. Some do and some don't from the mystery oil. And I really don't think that's going to upset me, so I'm leaving them on.
No, what you're seeing inside there should upset you, but pink feet should not upset you.
That's how I feel. And really, most of the time, they don't. Anyway,
yeah, look at that.
Yeah. And you know what? I would.
You got some needle nose right there, too.
I know that crud gets in here. I would try to clean it out and spray it out and brush it out. But this is just, it's time for a deep, deep clean. Off we go.
And that's what the deep soap does.